Hello and welcome to the Power BI September 2020 update. In this video, we'll explore what's new this month and see some demos of the highlights. But before we jump into the changes, we have an update for you on the blog itself. As we go through the video, you may notice some new sections in the content of our updates. That's because starting this month, we're merging the Power BI desktop, service, and mobile blogs so that you get one combined overview of everything new each month. As always, you can use the timestamps in the video description below to navigate through all of the new content. And with that, let's jump right in. We have two new updates for you in the Analytics section. First is the Smart Narratives preview feature. We often see users turn to text boxes, interactive headers, custom visuals, or even PowerPoint to help them tell the story they need to with the data in their reports. But we felt all of these options lacked the first-class interactivity and customizability that we could provide. So we're excited to announce the preview of a Smart Narratives visual to help you quickly customize visuals and reports by providing relevant and customizable insights right out of the box. Ansi will walk us through a demo of this feature.
The Smart Narrative visualization helps you quickly summarize visuals and reports by providing relevant out-of-the-box insights which are customizable. Let's look at this page where we have information about the transactions of my online sales data. All I have to do is right-click this scatter chart and select Summarize to get an automatic summary of that visualization. Power BI analyzes the data and shows which city and region has the highest revenue per transaction and the highest number of transactions. It also shows the expected range of values for these metrics. For example, you can understand that most cities were below $45 in revenue per transaction and had less than 10 transactions. You can also add new text or edit the existing text using the same controls available in the regular text box. For example, I can make the text bold or change the color and so on. Next, let me jump to the products page to show you another way of triggering these summaries. If I want to create a narrative based on all the visuals on the page, I just need to click on the new Smart Narrative icon in the visualizations pane. This automatically generates a summary of my visuals talking about revenue, website visits, and sales. Notice that Power BI automatically does trend analysis to show that revenue and visits have both grown, and it even calculates what kind of growth it sees. In this example, 72% increase. Next, I'm going to show you how to edit these summaries. You can customize the summary and add your own insights by adding dynamic values. For example, if you want to add information about the number of returned items, I can say return items amounted to, and click on this add value button here and say count of returns. Now, as I type, I get suggestions in the drop-down just as in a Q&A visual. Now, all I have to do is hit save. You can also format these dynamic values. For example, I can click on this edit button corresponding to this value to format the value, perhaps change it to a currency or specify the decimal places if I wanted to, and even add a 1000 separator. Once I hit save, you can notice that the value gets updated. The next thing I want to talk about is visual interactions. For example, if you select electronics in the donut chart, the rest of the report is going to cross-filter, and the summary will also cross-filter to focus on the electronic products too. In this case, the visits and revenues have different trends. So the text gets updated to reflect that. And the count of returned items you added gets updated to 4,196. So the summary is dynamic and it automatically updates the generated text and the dynamic values when you cross-filter. You can also do more advanced filtering. For example, if I jump to this page right here in this visual that talks about sales across time in different products, and let's say I'm interested in a trend across a certain quarter, you can select the relevant data points to get the summary updated for that fragment. Please check the documentation page to learn more about the feature and its limitations.
Next, we're happy to announce that the Q&A visual now supports the following arithmetic operations: addition, subtraction, division, and multiplication. This new feature is useful if you want to ask questions that require one or more of these operations, such as adding measures together or multiplying a measure by a scalar value. To enforce a specific order of operations, you can use an opened and closed parentheses. Moving on, we have some exciting updates for you in the reporting section. First, Data Point Rectangle Select is now available for additional charts. Last month, we released the preview version of the Data Point Rectangle Select, making it available for line, area, and scatter charts. This month, we're extending that functionality to the bar and combo charts. Now you can draw a rectangle to select data points in the stacked, clustered, and 100% stacked bar and column charts, as well as in the line and column combo charts. Please continue sending us feedback on the feature. Next, we've added an option to all visuals to maintain layer order. Toggling this on will change a visual's behavior in reading view, such that it stays in place rather than being brought to front upon selection. Rian will show us a demo.
So let's take a look at this simple report page that I published to the service. Usually, when you select an object on the canvas, it will automatically be brought to the front, above other overlapping visuals. Clicking away from it will return it to its original position. And while this behavior is intended and necessary, for example, to allow you to access the header menus of visuals, sometimes you'd like to have an object, like a shape or a background image, to stay in the background even when you accidentally click on it while viewing a report. So for example, I'm looking at this report here, and I want to click on the button, but maybe something catches my eye on a different monitor or something, and I just miss the button and I accidentally click this background shape. All of a sudden, I can't actually see the other visuals on the screen. The only way to make them show up is by actually leaving the surface of the shape and clicking away from it on the canvas. And there isn't that much canvas area for me to do so. So that can be quite annoying. Now, this month, you can set any visual to stay in place rather than being brought to front upon selection. So over here, what we can do is take this visual, this shape visual, go into General, and turn on Maintain Layer Order. Now that we turn this on, in the General card of the formatting pane, we can hit Save and Publish. And then if we take a look at the report in the service, what we'll see is, let's refresh the report. What we'll see is even if we click on the background shape that we made, it won't be brought to front. Now keep in mind that this only applies to reading view. So this behavior change only happens in the service. It won't happen in desktop. In desktop, if you click on it, it'll still be brought to front. Fortunately, in desktop, you can always use the selection pane to change layer order, but it's just that in desktop, being able to access the header of the visuals is so much more important. And sometimes the header of the visual is on the outside of the surface area of the visual, and so if the visual doesn't get brought to front, that header gets covered by other visuals if the visual is being overlapped. So while it doesn't work in desktop, and that's by intention, it will work for reading view, and ultimately that will help make sure that report viewers don't have this confusing and frustrating experience where they accidentally click on a background image or a background shape, something that's intended to stay in the background, something that perhaps you even hid the header for, and have that suddenly cover up the entirety of the report area.
Next, we're happy to announce the addition of one of our most popular user requests: searching for workspaces while you publish. After entering the Publish dialog, you will now see a search bar at the top of your list of available workspaces, allowing you to easily find the workspace you want to publish to. Another frequent user request is the ability to see total labels for stacked charts, like the stacked bar or column, stacked area, and combo charts. Now you can, allowing you to see the aggregates of your data at a glance. Rien will walk us through this new feature.
Starting this month, you can turn on total labels for your stacked bar and column, stacked area, and line and stacked column combo charts, allowing you to see the aggregates of your data at a glance. So to enable this, you need to have fields in the values well or a field in the legend or column series well to create this legend and, in general, split your stacked charts into actual stacks. Once they have stacks, once you have multiple things in each column or bar, then you can go into the formatting pane and you can see that there's now a total labels option. So if I turn this on, now you can see that the entire column has a new label attached to it indicating the aggregate of all of the items in the column. So that's different from data labels, which shows the individual slices of those stacks. Total labels shows you an aggregate of all of them. So, and it doesn't have to be, by having multiple values, right? We can do something like add a country legend here, and the same thing happens, where now total labels still applies. As long as your data has been split, you will see total labels. And of course, if there is no division, then data labels accomplishes the same thing. In the total labels well, we have several different options, including color for the text, display units, value decimal places, as well as show background, which, if you have something in the background, will allow the total label to show against that, because you can, pick a high contrast background color. And then lastly, of course, is separating positive and negative, if you want to sum the positive and negative values of your columns separately. So sometimes you'll see that you have negative values, which means that they show up below the column, below this 0, and maybe you don't want an aggregate for the entire column. Maybe you only want an aggregate for the positive and an aggregate for the negative, and this will allow you to split those values. And hopefully what this does is this gives you a good way to aggregate your data even beyond these total data labels. This gives you a good overview of this is what is happening in each of the columns or in each of the bars of my chart.
We are also introducing 2 enhancements to the mobile authoring experience. First, in Mobile Layout View, you will now be able to open the bookmark pane and select a bookmark to see how it impacts the report in Mobile View. And second, we've added 2 options to the ribbon to remove grid lines and snap to grid. Now you can turn off grid lines if you want to see how the report would look on the canvas of a real phone. And you can ensure pixel-perfect positioning for your visuals by turning off snap to grid. We have a few new updates for you in the mobile section. First, you can now move through your content quickly and easily with the new navigation tree experience available from the header drop-down in Reports, Dashboards, and Apps. With the new navigation tree, you'll see the location hierarchy of your content at a glance and easily move through that hierarchy. Next, you can also share links to Power BI content with your contacts. By using the new share action in the header, you can send the link to your current view through any collaboration app on your device, like Mail apps, Microsoft Teams, and others. Next, Pinch and Zoom is now available in all report views, making it easier for you to zoom in and out of your report content, whether you're on the phone or on your tablet. And lastly, you can now choose a report to automatically play in a slideshow when the Power BI Windows app is launched. This is useful for creating a kiosk-like experience that runs a report in public displays without any manual intervention. Michal will walk us through this new capability.
Hi. The next feature was released in our Power BI Windows app. it is an enhancement to the slideshow capability. So let's first understand the slideshow before diving into that new feature. Slideshow lets you choose a report and run a slideshow over its either pages, bookmark, or both. Let's open the Building Temps report. First, I click the full screen option, and then I click the play button Start Slideshow. By default, a slideshow cycles through pages only, at a rate of 1 every 30 seconds. You can change this default behavior in slideshow settings. In this release, we added autoplay to slideshow. Autoplay will start play slideshow automatically when the app is launched. So if you configure Windows machine to auto-start Power BI Windows and you configure Power BI to auto-start slideshow, you get a kiosk-like experience where a report runs in a public display without any manual intervention. To set up autoplay, go to Setting and then choose the Option tab. Here you can change the default settings of how frequently the slide will transition, as well as what the slideshow will cycle over, pages, bookmark, or both. Turn on the toggle and choose Select Report, and search for your report you want to auto-start. Now, every time Power BI app starts up, the report you choose will start playing automatically.
We have a variety of updates for you in the Service section. First, we're excited to announce 2 new capabilities within Lineage View. One is a new search functionality. By using the search box or the Control-F hotkey, you can now search across all content in your workspace to find items in the graph, view their lineage, and explore their metadata. The second is data source impact analysis. Now with one click, you can check which datasets and data flows across the whole Power BI tenant use a specific data source. We will also soon be rolling out the Notify Contacts feature, allowing you to contact dataset and data flow owners that you're able to find with this tool. Yaron will show us a demo of these new features.
Let's see some of the latest improvements and features within the Lineage view. You can use the search box to find artifacts by their name. You can still see the artifacts with their connections within the workspace. In this case, you can see the data source connected to the data flows, data sets, reports, and dashboards. You can also search for a data source by data source type and also the data source connection string. Once you found the data source, you can use the data source impact analysis to see how this data source is being used cross-tenant. In this example, you can see how this database is being used with 6 different workspaces with 3 data flows and 6 datasets. You can also drill down to see the details in each workspace what artifacts are connected. Let's say that there is a problem with the data source. You can use the Notify Contacts to let everyone know about the problem.
Next, we're happy to announce that Excel now inherits the Power BI's Dataset Sensitivity label when using a PivotTable connection. We know that Excel is very popular with Power BI users, especially for analysing Power BI data using a PivotTable. We now extend sensitivity label inheritance from Power BI to Excel files to include PivotTable connection, so that a sensitivity label on a Power BI dataset will automatically be applied on the Excel file when you create a pivot table in Excel. If the label on the dataset later changes to a more restrictive one, the label applied on the Excel file will automatically update upon data refresh in Excel. If the dataset sensitivity label is less restrictive than the Excel file sensitivity label, no label inheritance or update takes place. Sensitivity labels in Excel that were manually set are not automatically overwritten by the dataset's label. If an Excel file has a manually set label, a policy tip will show with a recommendation to upgrade the label. This feature will be available for customers with Microsoft 365 E3 and above. We are also happy to announce that the Analyze in Excel feature now provides an Excel file instead of a .odc file. This Excel file will include a pivot table connection to the Power BI dataset, making it easy to jump in right away. Next, in the modeling section, we're excited to announce that the enhanced Dataset Metadata is now generally available. In the past, only loadable queries generated in Power Query were mapped to the data model. Now all queries will be mapped to objects in the data model, and the queries will be regenerated based on that data model upon opening of the PBIX file. We've improved the performance of aggregations over expressions for columns of the currency data type. In the visualizations section, CloudScope has released its Collage visual, which displays images using either a grid or detailed display. Collage is a way to beautifully display images within your Power BI report. The Collage visual displays images through URL, but also supports displaying captions, media data and type, video URL, comment count, and more. You can also provide any generic data fields that you wish. You can download this visual using the link in the video description below. Starting this month, we're also choosing visuals as editors picks, showcasing some of the highlight visuals on AppSource. This month's editors pick visuals are Zebra BI tables, Violin Plot, Trading Chart by MAQ Software, Smart Filter Pro by OKViz, Acteris Table Edit, and ValQ. Links to download these visuals can be found in the video description below. We also have a new addition to our Power BI templates on AppSource. Template apps allow you to save time by connecting your own data to a pre-built report that you can personalize and share. New this month is the Multichannel Attribution Dashboard by Windsor.ai, the first performance marketing template app for Power BI. This template app helps performance marketers visualize and connect all of their data across media, analytics, and CRM with integrations to Google Analytics, Google Ads, Facebook Ads, LinkedIn Ads, and Bing Ads, which automatically refresh data. The template app has a visually rich report page with filters for performance marketers to get a summary on how their marketing campaigns contribute towards their business goals. If you're interested in trying out this template, please check out its link in the video description below. We have a few new updates for you in the data connectivity section, including 3 new connectors. First is the Azure Databricks connector. Azure Databricks is an Apache Spark-based analytics platform optimized for the Microsoft Azure Cloud Services platform. The connector will be available in the Azure section of the Get Data dialog. Second is the MariaDB connector. MariaDB is open source software originally designed as an alternative to MySQL, which turns data into structured information in a wide array of applications, ranging from banking to websites. The connector will be available in the database section of the Get Data dialog. And third is the Hexagon PPM Smart API connector, which lets you connect to smart APIs from Hexagon PPM to get data. These are RESTful web APIs which typically provide access to data associated with software applications like Smart Plant Foundation or Smart 3D. The connector will be available in the other section of the Get Data dialog. We also have a few other data connectivity updates. Dremio has added support for .pbids files and has enabled users to connect to Power BI from within Dremio. Kongsberg Vessel Insights has added support for fleet-based queries or queries containing wildcards. And Azure Time Series Insights includes bug fixes for column types shown in the response. In the community section, we're excited to announce that the Spanish language community forum is available on community.powerbi.com. We'd like to extend a special thank you to Microsoft Data Platform MVP Miguel Escobar for his help on making the Spanish forum possible and for his unwavering support of the Spanish-speaking community as a whole. If you haven't connected with our Power BI community yet, now is a great time to do so. The Power BI community is a great way to connect, learn, find solutions, and discuss Power BI with business intelligence experts and peers. And the Power BI community is a great place for you to showcase what you do and see the amazing work the community members have posted in the Data Stories Gallery each month. If you want to contribute to the Data Stories Gallery, the theme for October is Power BI and Excel, better together. So go ahead, show us what you can do. Who knows? You could win some cool Power BI swag. And that's all for this month. We hope you enjoy the updates, and please keep sending us feedback on what you'd like to see in upcoming releases. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again next month.